Do you like rock crawling, but sometimes you just want to go a little fast? Well, I've got the combo for you installed in this TRX-4 Sport. So admittedly, I like to crawl most of the time going slow, and if I was gonna tell you an ideal KV for almost any vehicle out there, it's gonna be between 1800 kV and 2200 kV. 1800 really being enough wheel speed, even 1400 to tell you the truth, being enough wheel speed to crawl, to bump over objects. It has really good efficiency, extremely good low speed control, assuming the motor is designed for that. But sometimes you just want a little more. With a 2-speed, you can actually get away with a much faster motor, something like a 2700 kV, and you get that really good low-speed control in first gear, and you get blistering speed in second gear. But what if you want to go even faster? In this single-speed TRX-4 Sport, I have installed the Puller Pro 3500. This was originally designed for the single-speed Wraith so that we would have enough envelope for rock crawling and also 20 miles an hour of speed. Plenty to jump over stuff. For trailing around, it's practically ridiculous. You can do standing backflips, stuff like that. So what I did is install the 3500 in this TRX-4 Sport, and I pinioned down from the stock, I believe it's a 17 tooth. Let's see, I got it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 1 oddball, 8 times 2 is 16, 17 tooth stock pinion, and I exchanged that with a 15 tooth. I wanted to go down to a 9 tooth because let's face it, the 3500 is a fast motor, and I'm gonna be running it on 3-cell LiPo today, even though I can run it on 4-cell. So ideally, I would want to exchange that spur gear from the 39 up to, I think it's either a 44 or 45 that you can get from Traxxas, and then drop down to a 9-tooth pinion. And then that's essentially what I've been preaching for the last 15 years, volt up, gear down. Although we're not going to volt up anymore, we're KV-ing up instead to get more wheel speed. And then when you gear back down, you get even better low speed control, more torque, more drag brake, more efficiency under load, and in general, it is better to use a faster motor or more voltage with more gear down as opposed to using a slow motor and then gearing it up to try to get your wheel speed. So, what I have installed today, the 3500 kV Puller Pro 540. Don't be fooled by the 540 size. This is actually a 550 can in power, but since I'm not limited by roar racing rules or anything like that, we crammed it all into a 540 can size. I'm using the Copperhead 10. This is 4S capable, but I'm only going to use 3S today because I don't have any full-size 4S packs. I do have one smaller one from Helios RC, but it doesn't quite fit in there. It's kind of a shorty 1900 or something like that. So I'm just going to go with 3S today. We'll see how the wheel speed is. Using the stock TQ radio on here, and that's pretty much it. One thing though, when you hook up a Castle system to the stock radio, it's probably not going to arm because evidently nobody in the industry actually adheres to the 1500 millisecond neutral. Nobody seems to. All right, so we turn this guy on, we plug in this, and you will be able to see on this LED indicator light that is flashing green. It's not arming. Oh, my system must be broken. You've probably been here before. No, the green indicates that you are seeing forward throttle. And we could either adjust the neutral trim on this, which is difficult in itself, or since this is actually a reverse rotation system and I have programmed the ESC for identical speed forwards and reverse, we can just reverse the throttle channel and it should work out fine. So let's find out. You turn on the radio, you hold the set button until the green light starts to flash. Then we pull the trigger. We hit the set button again. She is armed and it should go forwards. And our LED light is going to indicate that we are seeing reverse throttle from this. But like I said, yep, there we go, red light. Is it gonna go forwards? Yes, it's going forwards. Excellent, and then in reverse, it lights up green, but our vehicle rotation is all right. What you could do in programming is reverse this, then you could go into here and adjust your neutral trim so it would arm, but because I have this program for identical forwards and reverse locomotion, I am just going to do that. I flip the throttle channel. Once again, you would hold down the set button until the LED flashes. You pull your throttle, you tap the set button again, and you are ready to go. So pretty easy. So we got pretty good low speed control. This is a really fast motor and the gearing is, it's low enough, I'll tell you that, but Let's see where our startup is. I put a new pinion on there, I put it into the A location. You know, that's pretty slow. Once it gets loaded down, it'll slow up just a little bit more. This is essentially getting through all of the pinion mesh and everything. So there's our low speed. It can actually go slower. We just give it a little nudge, it'll spin. Let's see what our top speed is. I got a pretty good throttle curve on this thing. Yeah. That's plenty fast for a crawler. And really, the 3500 kV has always been my choice for a single speed rig where I want really slow crawl and also obnoxious wheel speed on there. It's just a perfect match. It's what I designed it for. So, I mean, that's that. I mean, what's next but to go out and crawl? I can't wait to get this thing on the rocks and see how it does. I've been involved in just like crawlers for so long that I haven't done a high kV setup for quite a while. So let's go out there and find out how this thing does. I almost forgot. We need to adjust the carburetor before I go out there. I need to richen it up just a little bit because I was having some soft seizes last time. All right, I got my low speed tuned, and now let's go for the high speed. Perfect. We are outside, ready to test the 3500 Puller Pro combined with the Copperhead 10 on 3S LiPo. As usual, let's see a little bit of unloaded low speed control. That's pretty good. I mean, it's not really the best, but this is a 3500 kV system. And let's just see how fast she goes. I must say the trigger quality on this radio is not that great. So it's really a credit to the setup. It's a credit to the setup on the Castle controller that it can deal with such an unruly trigger. It's really sticky. I do have a lot of throttle expo set up in the ESC, not in the radio. As we've talked before, if you set it up in the ESC, you get more points of low speed control down low. If you set it up in the radio, you actually lose points of low speed control, and it can result in a notchy throttle. So, yes, this thing has a little pep. But for something that's so fast, let's see how it does in the rocks. I would note that I've got enough of a curve on here that I believe we could be running 4S and we would still retain this amount of low speed control. Now, when you have all of this sort of wheel speed, the temptation is to get to a point like this and just kind of force your way through. So having too much power like that, having too much power is a responsibility. You have to know when to use it and when to not use it. And honestly, it can teach a lot of bad habits, especially if you're going to be competing. It can teach a whole lot of bad habits about throttle control and when you can use traction and finding your lines. Like right now, I could just find my line. I can just kind of go around back and forth until I find my line. It's going to hook. See, it'll hook, it'll pull through, but let's do that one more time. And here's a drag brake. It's almost holding completely, and considering the gear down that I have, not having that 45 tooth spur with a 9-tooth pinion, it actually has really good drag brake. But it's a large motor. It's a long rotor, big diameter rotor. So let's just let's see. Let's use some wheel speed and get through this. See, so it gets you in trouble. Having this much wheel speed can get you in trouble, but having that much wheel speed with so much low speed control, it's quite a pleasure. Quite a pleasure. All right, let's just kind of, there we go. See, I didn't have to use that much wheel speed. It helped a little bit. Let's see our downhill drag control. Not quite as good as something with a velocity loop, But got to keep in mind this is also a universal system. Still very controllable. This does have active drag. And for not having any dig ratio, these TRX-4s do have pretty good turning radius. You know, it's kind of a short wheelbase. Oh dear. There we go, just a little wheel speed bump to help us through. A little wheel speed bump to help us through. All right, I'll try that again from a different angle. And then after a little bit of that, I'm gonna Dukes of Hazzard this thing. I wonder what a good point to jump from would be. Maybe right here. Let's just see what happens. I won't go full lock, because full blast like that with full lock on your steering is not good for it. So let me line it up. All right, let's see what happens. A crawler shouldn't be able to do that. It shouldn't be able to, but we're gonna do it anyway. All right, little high speed action. Let's see if we can break this TRX-4. I know they're stout. It's not likely that I'm gonna end up breaking it, but this is what y'all wanted to see. It was half and half. We did a poll, and it was half and half. People wanting to see the 3500 kV and people wanting to see the 1800 kV revolver, you know, true crawler system. I'll tell you the truth though, this is my son's rig. I don't know if I would trust him with this. It has a whole lot of torque. It has way too much wheel speed, and wheel speed is usually how you break parts. At least with today's modern rigs, they can handle a lot of torque. They really can. Let's see if I can pull up this line. This is always tricky to come through, especially without a dig ratio. Whoa! Whoa! Oh no, I turtled it. All right. Let's see. I feel like I need to find a good section to just rock bounce through. Let's go this way instead. Maybe all these scale vines are not gonna do me any good today. Yeah! Let's bounce it. Whoa. See, still enough control. Man, it's been too long since I drove a 3500. Oh, can I do it? I'm gonna have to settle this suspension out. It would be useful to have the lockers in this particular instance just right now. There we are, that's it. Oh, I may have spoke too soon. There we are. Now that suspension is settled. And what perfect place to jump towards the camera and endanger my cameraman's life, but right here. We'll set up for a nice little lip bump. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't get the traction that I thought I would. But I have enough wheel speed to self-right. Man, how about right here? This looks like a good spot to just launch. Oh, I feel bad for the rig. Honestly, I do. But you know what? You're taking it. You're taking it very well. And as I've said before, the TRX platform is quite good. It's always shown itself to be very stout. Once it hooks up and gets traction, it's just nuts. Oh man. Yeah, again, this is my kid's rig. The reason why it's my kid's rig is that on the Sport, there's really hardly nothing to go wrong. There is nothing that typically goes wrong, besides maybe the radio coming unbound or something like that, or the servo burning out, which, you know, that happens with stock servos. It happens with even aftermarket servos. Speaking of, let's see how that servo is doing on the heat. Ooh, she's a little warm. Ooh, oh boy, that's past 140. That's past scalding. Well, I guess I'm gonna keep crawling. I got a little bit of time. I'm gonna keep crawling for a little bit. If y'all have any questions about the setup, this was really just me coming out and having fun with this rig today, I suppose. But if you do have any questions about the setup, leave your comments down below. I'll do my best to get to them. And in the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Have a good day. I feel like this is the wheel speed that a trophy truck should have. 1, 2, 3, wheel speed!